Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for 6 for 6. I'm your host, Trevor Williams. We're on season 2, episode 3 of 6 for 6, ladies and gentlemen. I got you the 6 best games to watch this week. And let's get down to business. I'll give you my overall past week's record and this week's record to keep you up to date of where I'm at in my picks for 6 for 6. So last week, I went for another 3 for 3. But you know what that means? On the bright side of it, it makes it the honorary 6 for 6, ladies and gentlemen. I have 6 wins and 6 losses in my picks, which, it's not great going 500, but when you only have 6 games, it's going to be a kind of a no-brainer. You're going to split across the board, but we hope to turn it around this week and get more than, going 500, going 3 for 3 like we did last week here, ladies and gentlemen. But we're going to try to turn that around and have leaps and bounds of improvement. We got, Corey tuning in, Corey Goodrich tuning in from Minnesota. Hope you have a good evening so far, Corey. Let's get down to business on the top of that. All right, we got going into our first game. We got a game tonight. We're starting the world of the NBA. We got the Clippers and the Nuggets tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific on ESPN. Great matchup going in, though, the Clippers don't have Paul George. This Clipper team is just barely scraping by. And the Denver Nuggets are going to probably dominate this game, and ESPN has them dominate this game as well with an 83.5% chance of winning this game, ladies and gentlemen. A huge milestone. I shouldn't say milestone. A huge margin of victory for the Denver Nuggets if they win it tonight. Don't count them out, but at the same time, their last 5 games, both teams are pretty much evenly matched, both with 3 out of 5 wins, 3 out of the 5 last games that they were able to win. But I'm going to have to agree with ESPN on this one. I'm going to have to go with the Denver Nuggets on winning this game, ladies and gentlemen. I got a comment coming in from our loyal fans. Corey's just saying, having a good night too. That's great, Corey. And with that, we're going to move on to our next game, ladies and gentlemen. With, it's a little quick one on here for tonight's game. So, you make sure you tune into that on ESPN. In the 5th slot, ladies and gentlemen, in the 5th spot, we have the Bulls and Bucks. Last time I picked against the Bucks, and that's where I got my loss in. So I'm going to go with the Bucks on this one. They're going to probably take care of the Bulls. I shouldn't say it's going to be easily fashioned, but at the same time, the Bucks only have one player out, which is in Drew Holiday. So they're pretty much a loaded team. But Lonzo Ball is out for the Bulls. Green is out, and Levine is out as well for the Bulls. So a lot of key players are going to be out for the Chicago Bulls, and the Bucks only missing one. So that's going to be in their favor for the Milwaukee Bucks. So with that, they're going to be able to take it away. Like I said, Giannis Antetokounmpo almost averages, almost 30 points a game, gets a lot of rebounds as well, but their key assist player for the Bucks and Drew Holiday is out. So getting the ball around and distributing effectively is going to be a little bit of a challenging for the Milwaukee Bucks, but ESPN has the Milwaukee Bucks favorite this game with a 72% chance to win it. And on top of that, if you look at the last, games broken down, the Bulls are on a 4-game losing streak, and the Milwaukee Bucks are on a 2-game losing streak. So both teams are trying to snap these losing streaks and turn it around. I think the Bucks are able to snap that and be able to get back on track. Or maybe the Bulls will stun them, but I'm going to have to go with the Milwaukee Bucks on this one. And plus, they are home, and I don't think they're going to give up home court advantage. Before I go to the 4th spot, I'll read a couple comments in. We got, Isaiah tuning in. He's saying, "What's up?" Kirsty Wilson's picking the Bucks. And we got SoCal Chronicles tuning in as well. Thank you all for tuning in for tonight's program. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we are tuning into some college hoops now. Well, before we get into that, we got to pick from Corey. Who's the better team, Golden State Warriors or the Phoenix Suns? That's actually a good debate. I think if you look at the talent-wise, with, the Golden State, they have more seasoned veterans compared to the Phoenix Suns, though the Phoenix Suns have, key firepower, with Chris Paul and Devin Booker and company. I just think the Golden State Warriors just know how to take care of business in key situations. So if you're looking at, game management, knowing how to win games, I will say the Golden State Warriors. Now, if the Phoenix Suns get hot and, it can't be stopped, now that's another story. But I would say seasoned veteran players with the Golden State Warriors team and be able to, take care of business in this game if they have to face each other in the playoffs. But good comment, Corey. Good comment. With that, we're going to go into our fourth game, ladies and gentlemen. We have some college hoops. We got the Battle of Indiana. Purdue, number 4 Purdue versus Indiana, Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on FS1. Great matchup here in the college hoops land. Two basketball schools really make deep runs in the college tournament, but I'm going to have to go with Purdue on this one. They have the better record. They're 15-2 compared to Indiana's 13-4. And just ESPN even agrees with that. They're 66.9% chance to win this game, Purdue. And if you just look at, some of their stats, Purdue's on a 3-game win streak, and Indiana has won the last 3 out of their 5. So as you can see, Purdue's on this hot streak. But if you look at points per game, Purdue almost averages 87 points per game, and Indiana only averages 75. As you can see, Purdue puts up a lot more points, gets a lot more rebounds with almost 41 rebounds per game compared to, Indiana's almost 40 points, but they get more of a 39. But Purdue has that defense. Well, I shouldn't say has that defense. They get more steals. No, they get less in defense-wise, actually, ladies and gentlemen. Indiana gets more blocks and more steals than Purdue. So this is going to be interesting. And Indiana's at home, but I think Purdue's the better team. They're going to be able to close this one out because they're able to put up more points per board and be able to score more efficiently, I would say, in this one, ladies and gentlemen. But with that, I got some more comments trickling in as well. Kirsty Wilson is picking Purdue. And on that same time, favorite college basketball team? Oh, that is a tough one. I really don't know. I think it comes, I don't have a favorite team. Obviously, I could say Ohio State because that's my alma mater, because that's where I went to school. But I really don't have a favorite team. It's like when you get down the March Madness bracket, it's really hard to, pick a favorite team all the way through. So I really don't have a favorite college basketball team. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to our third game before we get to that halfway point where we do a quick recap of what I picked so far and so forth. So we got another key matchup in here. We got Michigan State, who's 14th in the nation, versus Wisconsin, 8th in the nation, Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on FS1. Great matchup here. 2 ranked matchups in the college basketball world. I can't wait to see what ends up happening, but you got something interesting. Both teams are a little bit close, evenly matched compared to Michigan State has almost a 75 points per game compared to Wisconsin's 73. So obviously this is going to be neck and neck, but Michigan State gets more rebounds with 40 rebounds per game compared to, Wisconsin's 43. But at the same time, Michigan State is that defensive team. They get more steals with 6 steals per game and 6 blocks per game compared to Wisconsin's 3 blocks per game and their 5 steals a game. But if you look on top of that, ladies and gentlemen, Wisconsin's on a 5-game winning streak, and Michigan State is also, they were almost on a 5-game winning streak, but they lost to Northwestern. But the interesting thing about they both have played Northwestern as their last games. And as you can see, there's a difference right there. Michigan State lost 64-62, but Wisconsin won against Northwestern 82-76. As you can see, Michigan State held Northwestern to 60 compared to when Wisconsin played, only held them to 76, ladies and gentlemen. So as you can see, Michigan State has that better defense. So in this game on the road for Michigan State in Wisconsin, in Madison, Wisconsin, I'm going to have to go with, Michigan State with the upset on this one, though ESPN says Wisconsin is the favorite with a 65% chance to win. I have to go with Michigan State. They're just a solid ball club all the way around and plays key defense when that really matters the most, ladies and gentlemen. I got a comment rolling in, and Corey Goodrich's team, he says his favorite team is Duke, going back to his comment saying, who is your favorite college basketball team? But with that, we'll do a quick recap of the games we got. So we got Clippers Nuggets tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific on ESPN. I have the Nuggets in this one. And the next game in the 5th spot, we have the Bulls and the Bucks at Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on ESPN. Next up in the 4th slot, we got number 4 Purdue versus Indiana Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific time on FS1. And the 3rd slot, we got Michigan State versus Wisconsin Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on FS1. And now let's cap off our number 2. We got honorary the NFL playoffs right now. So out of the NFL playoffs in the divisional round, I'm only selecting 2 of the key games that people should tune into and to watch. I understand. Why don't you put the 49ers and Packers in there? That's not the game to really – it's a game to watch, but at the same time, I would rather go with the Rams and Buccaneers because I know Matt Stafford has beaten Tom Brady with this team, with the Rams. But at the same time, it's Tom Brady in the playoffs. You can't doubt Tom Brady in the playoffs in this one, ladies and gentlemen. But I know Matthew Stafford can come up with a way to win and relying on Cooper Kupp and the Rams offense to carry them through. But at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, it's nothing to be asleep on. I know the Bucks, according to ESPN, have a 65% chance to win this game. But I'm going to go with the upset. I'm going to go with the Rams. They're going to find a way to win this game. I know it's not going to be easy. They may struggle in the beginning, but they'll try to find a way to squeak one out against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But if you look down the stats, ladies and gentlemen, the Bucks score about 30 points per game compared to the Rams 27. But the Rams only allow 11 points per game compared to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 15 points per game. If you look at the passing yards in total, the Rams almost over 288 compared to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers almost 317, passing yards per game. Now, if you look at rushing yards, they're evenly matched. Rams get about 99 compared to the Bucks 89. But if you look at the passing yards allowed, the Bucks allow more passing yards. They allow for almost 258 compared to the Rams 137. And then rushing yards allowed. The Rams only allow 61 rushing yards compared to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 95. So as you can see, the Rams are able to move the ball through this Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense, and the Rams defense can stop teams pretty efficiently. And that's why I'm going to lean towards the Rams be able to pull up the upset in this game. So if you want to see what ends up happening, the Rams and Buccaneers games at Sunday on January 23rd at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific time on NBC. Got a couple more comments coming in before we close up tonight's program. And she's going with Kirsty Wilson. She's going to go with the Rams upset as well. And then you have the big news. Stetson Bennett is going to go back to University of Georgia for another big year. So we'll see if Georgia can win another one. We'll see how he goes through. And we'll make sure we pull a couple, Georgia games if they have some good matchups for 6 for 6 as we get towards the second half of the year, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, we'll reveal our number 1, ladies and gentlemen. The number 1 game, Bills and Chiefs, the divisional round game. I think everyone knows this is prime time on CBS. January 23rd, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific time on CBS. Key matchup in this. I would say whoever wins this game is probably going to win the AFC Championship game and go on to the Super Bowl. This, in my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, is probably the AFC Championship game in the real high inspect of things. I don't think you can leave these two teams out. I think these teams were destined for the AFC Championship game, but now they're facing each other in the divisional round. The ESPN, ladies and gentlemen, has the Bills winning it with a 52% chance of winning this game, ladies and gentlemen. That is huge. They're doubting Patrick Mahomes. How can you doubt Patrick Mahomes when the guy who can make a fourth quarter comeback when his team is getting blown out? I don't think you can leave Patrick Mahomes sleeping on this. I can understand you may sway one way or another, but it's at Arrowhead. So I don't think Patrick Mahomes is going to lose in Arrowhead against the Bills. If it was in Buffalo, that's a different story. I could agree with selecting the Bills, but it's in Arrowhead. It's with Patrick Mahomes, with Andy Reid as the coach. I'm going to have to stick with the Chiefs on this one. But if you look at the stats, ladies and gentlemen, these teams are evenly matched. I kid you not. The Bills have 28 points per game, and the Kansas City Chiefs 28 points per game. but the Bills allow 17 points per game compared to the Chiefs, 21 points per game. But if you look at total yards wise, the Chiefs have 405 compared to the Bills 391, almost 392 offensive yards. So as you can see, the Kansas City Chiefs, as we all know, are the offensive firepower. But the Bills defense gives up a lot of yards as well, with 321 compared to the Kansas City Chiefs 271 yards per game. But as you can see, looking at this, I'm going to rely on the Chiefs because they have more offense of yards and they're able to lock down teams a little bit more efficiently compared to the Bills. And that's why I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs to win this game. Before I do a final recap, I'll read a couple comments from our viewers tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We got Kirsty Wilson going in with the Kansas City Chiefs on her pick. And Corey Goodrich is saying, yep, and that's true, and thank you. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'll do a quick recap so y'all have my picks, and so y'all can follow along with my 6 for 6 picks and see if I get any, get closer to that, going undefeated in my, 6 for 6 selection and going 6 wins in my picks. So let's do a quick recap. We got the Clippers and Nuggets tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific on ESPN. I'm going to go with the Nuggets. Next up, we got Bills and Bucks on Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on ESPN, and I'm going to go with the Bucks on this one. Next up, we got number 4 Purdue versus Indiana, Thursday night, 7 p.m. Pacific on 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on FS1. Next up in the third slot, we got Michigan State. I'm going to go with the upset against Wisconsin, who is number 8 in the nation, and Michigan State is number 14. And we have Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on FS1. After that, ladies and gentlemen, we go to our second game. We got Rams and Buccaneers Sunday, January 23rd, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific time on NBC. And to cap us off tonight, ladies and gentlemen, our number 1 slot, the Bills and the Chiefs going with the upset with this compared to ESPN at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific on CBS. With that, ladies and gentlemen, that will do it tonight on 6 for 6 with a fantastic program. Hope you all enjoyed your tonight's program. And with that, with our final comment, Corey Goodrich says he's like watching the MI6 Sports Network. It's super fun, and he enjoys watching us. So if you enjoy our program, head over to our YouTube channel, Facebook, and we also have Spotify, and listen to all of our podcasts on our respective podcast listening platforms. So that will do it for tonight's program on 6 for 6. Enjoy all the sporting events that are happening this week, and we'll see you all for next week's episode on 6 for 6 on the MI6 Sports Network. Take care and see you all next time. So long for now. Bye-bye.